The Protestant Reformation. The Protestant Reformation, the religious movement that split the Church of Europe, defines the modern world today. This Reformation was the foundation for Protestantism. Beginning in the 1500s, the Church entered into an unstable state due to nationalism throughout Europe and corrupt practices. The Renaissance had begun just a few hundred years previous, and the idea of humanism, the movement that emphasized human matters over the divine, encouraged people to develop new ideas. A common practice in which Martin Luther was very opposed was the selling of indulgences. The intention of indulgences was to give Christians an opportunity to do a good act in return for penance for their sins. However, this practice did not encourage good Christian living, and selling indulgences became common. From this came much opposition to the Church. The profits of indulgences were used to fund expensive projects like the building of St. Peter's Basilica. Martin Luther, an Augustinian priest and monk and German friar, served as the catalyst for the Protestant Reformation. Born in 1438, he studied church fathers and scripture. Luther's views contradicted the practices of the Church in the 16th century. On October 31st, 1517, Martin Luther posted his 95 Theses on the door of a church in Wittenberg, Germany. It stated his belief that only faith in God's love and mercy could justify sinners, and denied the practice of indulgences. This event launched the Protestant Reformation. Luther intended to reform the Church from within, but a movement broke away. At first, the Church was unfazed by this event, but tensions grew. Due to the Pope's opposition to 41 of Luther's theses, he called him to Rome. However, Luther denied the invitation and decided to delve deeper into three of his teachings: sola scriptura, sola fide, and sola gratia. Sola scriptura states that Scripture alone transmits revelation. Sola fide states that humankind is justified by faith alone, rather than by faith and good works. And sola gratia states that salvation comes only from divine grace, which is an unearned gift from God.
Pope Leo X then gave Martin Luther the option to recant in 60 days or to be excommunicated from the Church. Standing by his beliefs, Pope Leo excommunicated him in January of 1521. Luckily for Luther, Duke Frederick of Saxony protected him at his home in Germany. The Germans grew restless while supporting the corrupt papacy, and as a result, with the help of German nationalism, support for Luther grew across the nation. While living in Germany, Martin Luther wrote a German translation of the Bible and catechisms. Due to Johannes Gutenberg's invention of the printing press, Luther's writings spread rapidly across Europe. Between 1518 and 1525, Luther published more works than 17 of the most influential reformers of the time combined. In 1530, Philip Melanchthon, a friend of Luther, curated the Augsburg Confession. This basic creed for Luther's marked the beginning of Protestantism.
The conclusion of the Protestant Reformation is not clear, but it is somewhere between 1517 and 1648. By the end, Lutheranism had become the state religion in Germany, Scandinavia, and the Baltic states. Due to the Reformation's powerful influence over Europe, the Catholic Church grew fearful and the Counter-Reformation occurred. Martin Luther also inspired others to split from the Catholic Church and form new religions. John Calvin began Calvinism. Although similar to Lutheranism, Calvinism had a stricter rule. He denied the presence of Christ in the Eucharist and believed in predestination.
King Henry VIII soon declared himself head of the Church of England, or the Anglican Church. Politics and religion in Europe were forever changed. New denominations of Christianity have risen, such as Presbyterianism and Eastern Orthodoxy, and the national religions across Europe vary.